Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulunding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gash, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gash Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
It's a warm reception to our studio here in Sarakunda. This is Star TV News with me, Maimuna Juf Fadera. In the headlines tonight, calls for mainstreaming of technology in Gambia's security domain. UDP loses battle against Sirifo Sonko. Probe begins in Nawek Ajib $15.5 million is fraud. Brutal women get boreholes, fertilizers from sons in diaspora. On the international scene, envoy of Myanmar civilian government defiant after treason charge. The tale of vaccine cheaters in the US. Haiti police station stormed to free detained officers. Well, those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. As the country continues to witness mysterious deaths and threats to public security and safety, there are calls on the Gambian government to mainstream technology across the country's security domain. Vulgarist robberies and deaths in questionable circumstances have been on the rise in the Gambia. But one man who believes there is an overwhelming need for the integration of technology as a main dimension in security is Modika M. Keba. He had a chat with Star TV on why the Gambia government, local authorities and private citizens should embrace technology to fight the country's global crime rate.
If I understood well, what you were trying to explain to me is we are talking about digital security. You know, digital security system is a concept that is very, very, very effective nowadays, and that is being used everywhere in the world to try to curb crime, to reduce the number of crime in society. Because especially if you look at Africa, if you look at Gambia, our policing system, they don't have enough resources to be able to control the security system or provide security for every individual. So this is why the need to incorporate digital security within our security system is a very important tool that need to be looked into and that need to be given the opportunity, because it is very effective, and then its effectiveness would completely change the way policing is done in this country. Actually, we will not be migrating or leaving the traditional way of doing it. What needs to be done is to incorporate the latest security system in complementing the way we are doing it, because we have to consider one thing. If you don't have a lot of resources to organize the police, to be able to man the communities the way it is recommended by the UN, it will be very difficult for you to complement or for you to achieve what you are looking up to. So 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we don't talk about this digital security because it was like a nightmare. But then 10 years ago, 15 years ago, this country has moved from one point to another. if I am right, maybe 15 years ago, 20, there was no internet. 10 years ago, there was no internet in this country when it comes to like how it is today. And then today, we are all so much attached to our telephones. And your smartphone can give you everything. You could use your smartphone to control the security of your house, of your business, of whatever. So in that same vein, as far as now, basically, we could say 60 or 70% of Gambians have a smartphone. It will be very wise enough now to take advantage of that infrastructure and then start, implementing digital security system in the community.
Reports reaching Star TV have intimated that the Supreme Court has thrown away the writ of mandamus filed by the UDP against Sirifo Sanko. The writ sought to stop Sanko from executing his functions as the chairman of the Birkama Area Council. UDP last year sacked Sirifo Sanko from the party, saying the Birkama Area Council's chairman was acting in a manner that ran contrary to party principles. The party then filed a writ against the IEC so that Sanko could vacate his position. This will have paved a way for a by-election in West Coast region. But it will now appear voters in the Western region will now go to the polls and soon to elect a chairman for the town hall, as according to the UDP spokesperson Alma Mital. The Supreme Court has ruled that the provision the party was working on is unconstitutional. Investigations have opened in the unauthorized withdrawal of $15.5 million from NOWEC's Q Power account at Arab Gambia Islamic Bank. The country's electricity company has said the signatures, letterheads and the stamps used to withdraw the money from NOWEC account were all forged, while Modo El Baji has been speaking with NOWEC's PRO about the fraud.
The company has been speaking of a sharp departure from its norm of withdrawing money from Ajib Bank because the normal practice was to send hard copies of documents for withdrawals. Per Silva is the public relations manager of NAWEC.
What we do understand is if we look at the emails that were sent to the bank, the email was sent 7 a.m. in the morning. They used a dispatching stamp from NAWEC. I don't know how they were able to do that. They also use a receiving stamp at the bank, and it has been signed. They forge all these, the stamps and the signatures of the people that are concerned in that bank transaction, and even the MD who was there then. So I don't know how it happened, but the honest truth is that money has been taken away from our account, $15.5 million. So as I said, it's not NAWEC's problem. It's Ajib's problem.
Silva explains that the unauthorized withdrawal is the issue for the Arab Islamic Bank because the contract between it and NAWEC is to ensure the safety of its account.
This is a contract that NAWEC has with the bank, that they should open an account for NAWEC. They should take care of that account and whatever funds it put into that account. So for us, the problem is with Ajib because they are the custodians of that account for NAWEC, and they are people who are taking care of that fund.
Despite the Ajib being the custodian of the account, what is NAWEC contemplating as regards this reported fraud?
Well, this is a situation that management together with the board will have to sit and discuss over it. Because for us to put our money into a bank, and then some people from somewhere come and then maybe bypass the right protocols and do their own intelligence through cyber intelligence or whatever, and get that money out of it. If we come to realize that our money is not secured in that bank, maybe we may decide to close that bank. But I think we have not come to that yet. Unless and until the police are ready with their findings and the culprits are found, and then when the matter is handled, amicably we will see, together with the bank, to see what next should happen.
Ajib, meanwhile, is yet to respond to queries or issue a public statement on the $15.5 million reported fraud. For Star TV, I am Modu El Baji.
The women gardeners in Brufut have benefited from 2 boreholes and fertilizer as Brufut diaspora beefs up their community development intervention. The diaspora sons of Brufut sunk the 2 boreholes in the community gardens of Mansa and Kankanta. They have also recently presented fertilizer to the women to enhance yields. Well, Maria Madam reports.
Over 500 women work in these gardens, and they grow different varieties of vegetables such as tomatoes, onions, cabbages, garden plants, peppers, among others. The women say they work in the gardens to support their families, pay their children's school fees, as well as to contribute to national development despite the challenges. The Burfoot VDC chairman, Lamin Fati, thanked the donors before giving details of the support.
We came here, we found that water was not sufficient. The other panels, solar panels, were stolen by bad people, and the one left, the pump also went down. The pump is not working. So we managed to revive that pump, but unfortunately it was not possible. So later, when the diaspora guys spoke to the VDC, we came in collaboration to fish out the best way to bring more water to the present water that the leaders are enjoying. So I was assigned to go and find out whom do I engage to make sure that there is enough water. I went to Swigam. They came here on a survey, and then they told me that yes, we can revive the borehole. The borehole is in good order. What we do is to filter the water and then put in a new pump and a new system. So that was done. If you look at the panels over there, they are put by the diaspora. The tank that we are seeing, it was not functional, but the diaspora tried until it became functional. So then now, water is not a problem here. It's still a problem, but not a big problem compared to the first one. So what we are yearning for now, we need help from any philanthropist or any government or any organization, NGOs, individuals. We need at least 2 additional boreholes in the garden here. So if you have 2 additional boreholes, plus the 2 boreholes working, will be 4 boreholes. If you have that, that will be very, very sufficient for the women. And then this cropping season, the diaspora, they bought fertilizer, 50 bags NPK, 50 bags of NPK fertilizer divided among the women here. Again, they bought some seeds. A lot of seeds today we are looking at were all bought by the diaspora. Also, that was shared among the women. So the women, they are most grateful to the diaspora, like the villagers too. The diaspora, we thank them very much for a job well done. They are people of Burfoot, go far away from Burfoot, but they are still within Burfoot because their minds are with us. So what I'm telling them is let them continue the good work they are doing. Let them not reverse the gear. Let them always engage the forward gear so that they will be going forward all the time.
The women acknowledged the support and said the boreholes were a big boost to their quest for access to water. They call on government for more support.
Diaspora wole nyim fulanja osin bar hanim bi mbe wole tantula mbe jayida.
Maria Madam reporting for Star TV News.
Those were the local stories. We'll be back with the international news after the short break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulunding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gosh, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gosh Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
Welcome back. After the short break, we now look at the news beyond our borders as some protesters in Myanmar fight back against the security forces violent crackdowns, the military announced treason charges against the now removed ambassador to the United Nations. K.M. Motun was fired a day after speaking at the UN General Assembly last month, where he called for help to remove the military from power. Al Jazeera's Scott Hedlow reports.
The industrial zone of Yangon has emerged as the main flashpoint between protesters and Myanmar's security forces. It ignited on Sunday and has continued throughout the week. The protesters now arming themselves with makeshift weapons, slingshots and Molotov cocktails, fighting back as they appear to be facing live ammunition and tear gas. This part of the city is home to migrant workers at the nearby factories, some of which were torched on Sunday, leading to the most violent day so far in the 6 weeks of protests. Martial law has been imposed in some areas. The military has announced another member of former civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi's NLD party has been charged with high treason. Myanmar's ambassador to the United Nations, Ja Mo-tun, is facing the charge for his speech during a UN General Assembly on the situation in his country. In that February 26 speech, he called for the fight for democracy to continue, more international pressure on the junta, and raised the protest movement's three-finger salute. He was fired the next day. Myanmar State Television has aired an interview with a man who says Suu Kyi accepted money from him while she was in office.
According to Ma Wait, he had given Aung San Suu Kyi 4 payments: $100,000 in May 2018, $150,000 in May 2019, $50,000 in February 2020, and $250,000 in April 2020. Totaling $550,000.
Her attorney called the bribery accusation groundless and illogical. This is the second corruption allegation, in addition to charges already made against Suu Kyi, including illegally importing walkie-talkies and breaking COVID-19 restrictions. In a further move by the military to control what's seen and heard inside Myanmar, internet services are becoming increasingly limited. Mobile networks have been ordered to shut down, and the speed of the internet has become very slow. Scott Heidler, Al Jazeera.
Over a fifth of the U.S. population have been given at least one vaccine dose so far, and President Joe Biden has promised that every adult will be eligible for a jab by May 1st. But some people are now willing to wait for their turn. Well, Al Jazeera's Rob Reynolds has the tale of the vaccine cheaters.
With coronavirus vaccine supplies still tight and demand overwhelming, authorities in the U.S. are denouncing queue jumpers and vaccine cheaters. In California, an unknown number of ineligible people signed up for vaccine appointments using online codes reserved for underprivileged and minority communities. In Florida, officials say 2 younger women dressed up as grannies to trick vaccinators. They were caught and turned away.
Not allowed to be here no more.
In Maryland, fights nearly broke out at a drive-through vaccination center when people started cutting in line. And in Washington state, the governor rebuked a hospital system that gave special vaccine access to administrators.
That is not acceptable for us. We need to give everybody a fair shot.
A Beverly Hills doctor who treats wealthy and influential people says he's bombarded by requests for special treatment.
Hundreds of phone calls, same question. Do you have the vaccine? When will you get the vaccine? How can we get the vaccine? Don't have it. What can we do? How much can we pay? We're willing to make donations, etc. Whatever is possible, they're willing to do in order to get the vaccine for themselves.
How many cheaters are there?
There's no accurate numbers. People are doing it, probably wouldn't admit to it all the time. So we really don't know, but I'm ready to say it's significant in terms of it's more than a tiny handful of people.
Public health specialists say cheating was made almost inevitable by the haphazard vaccine rollout at the beginning under the Trump administration.
A lot of this was left up to the states, and many states in turn left it up to counties. And so that resulted in a whole range of systems and challenges and variation in who's eligible.
Once you get into that kind of inconsistency, you're encouraging cheating.
Despite the outrage they caused, there seems to be no punishment for cheaters.
People didn't say, this jerk got in line even though he works from home and he has no exposure and he's young. We just sort of nodded and winked or said, well, that's the way it goes.
Inequities in the U.S. healthcare system are widespread, but authorities hope that as vaccine supplies increase, the urge to cheat will fade.
It would be terrible if we come out of this and don't learn important lessons from what went wrong and what went right, because there will be another pandemic.
Hopes of lessons learned for the next time a new disease strikes. Rob Reynolds, Al Jazeera, Los Angeles.
Well, demonstrators, including many police officers in Haiti, have stormed several police stations in the capital. They freed 4 officers who have been arrested over an alleged coup attempt last month. Well, Al Jazeera's Sarah Hayrat has this report.
A common sight in Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince. Protesters angry at the political, economic and health crisis gripping their nation. While roadblocks and other disruptions have been an almost daily occurrence this year, the sight of uniformed police joining the demonstrations is more recent. Masked to hide their identity, they stormed several police stations on Wednesday, setting one of them on fire and releasing 4 colleagues from police cells. They'd been accused of an alleged coup attempt against President Jovenel Moïse last month, a claim they deny.
We've been suffering for a long time. We took our destiny, and we're telling the Haitian people that they are free, today or never.
We support the release of the police detained. We're also here to tell the president he has to admit that he can no longer run this country. According to the Article 134(2), his mandate is finished.
The police officers belong to a group they formed called Phantom 509 that calls on the resignation of the National Police General. They're also demanding the release of the bodies of 5 officers killed in a botched raid on a notorious gang a week ago.
We're blocking all the roads, we're dropping our weapons, and we're not going to work at the police stations, so we send a clear message to the Director of Police and the Prime Minister to go and get the bodies of the killed officers.
Haiti is the poorest country in the Americas. Gang kidnappings, rape and murders are all on the rise, and unrest has been growing.
We cannot live in a society where violence is wreaking havoc, and they're using this violence as a method against us.
Critics say the government does not provide the police with enough resources to tackle gang crime. The opposition coalition, Democratic and Populist Sector, has accused President Moïse of colluding with G9, a powerful gang alliance formed last year by a former police officer to keep certain areas of the capital under control, an accusation the president denies. But on Wednesday, a state of emergency was declared for 1 month in some areas of Port-au-Prince. Sarah Hayrat, Al Jazeera.
Well, before we end the news, a quick recap of our main headlines. Calls for mainstreaming of technology in Gambia's security domain. UDP loses battle against Sirifo Sonko. Probe begins in Nawek Ajib $15.5 million is fraud. Brutal women get boreholes, fertilizers from sons in diaspora. On the international scene, envoy of Myanmar civilian government defiant after treason charge. The tale of vaccine cheaters in the U.S. Haiti police station stormed to free detained officers. That's all for this edition of the news. Do enjoy the rest of the wonderful programs. Join us tomorrow for more news. Thanks for watching and